What is up, heroes? Welcome back to yet another episode of Heroes of the Storm Beginner's Guide. Today we're going to be taking a look at Tyrael, and I'm going to show you a build to build him as a melee assassin, melee warrior. He's going to be a main tank, okay? He's going to be a main tank, be able to soak a lot of damage, do some crowd control, really sustain and stay on capture points, such as the Dragon Shire, just something that you really need to sit on, a boss, just anything that you need to physically capture. Tyrael is an absolute boss of that, because even if he does die, he does lots of boom boom explosions. So with that said, I'm going to show you my build, my series build. I know I was just joking, but my series build. And with that said, let's hop into the game.
Reckoning is at hand.
Okay guys, so we are now spawning in with quite a bit of lag. Ignore that, that will resolve itself within a second. So, we are building as a main tank. First of all, let's take a look at our skills. We have Eldruin's Might, which basically we can space or send out our Q, it sends out our sword, and we can use it again to teleport to it. Does a okay amount of damage, and also slows enemies in the area. We have our W, we should let Gazlo solo. Oh no, Zagara soloing, okay, that's fine. We have our W, Righteousness, which shields us for damage, as well as nearby allies in a pretty big range. So super useful. We can shield up to 5 allies at one time, and E, which Smite, which we send out this little cool area of effect cursor. It's like in a weird line, but it is pretty cool. And the targeting, a lot of skills like this in some games feel very counterintuitive, but this one feels pretty nice. Can I fit in this bush? I'm too fat to fit in this bush. No, I'm not. But yeah, and we get movement speed along with our allies gain movement speed. So super useful, more of a supporty skill. It does an okay amount of damage. We can pick a talent to buff this up early on. Oh, we're going to shield right here. Oh, looks like we're versus an enemy Tyrael. And our trait, which does make us invulnerable and explode when we do die. So like I said, that's the trait. It's really going to allow us to have such a presence when we stand in lane. Now we are getting pushed back by the enemy Tyrael and Kel'Thas, super strong push com. I'm actually going to head bottom so Gazlo can solo top, and we can assist the party lane down bottom. So for the first talent, we're going to be taking Regeneration Master, since we are building as a main tank, and what this allows us to do is actually gain more health regeneration as we collect health globes from the caster minion, and that is something that I didn't understand for a while, which minion actually drops the health globe. And if you've been playing for a while, it may seem, you know, super obvious to you, but if you haven't, it's not going to be as obvious. So there we go. That is our Eldruin's, the power of our Eldruin's Might for initiation. We could really, you know, push super hard. And what the heck are you doing up here? Oh no, Illidan! Oh no, Illidan! Illidan! Skeleton! Yeah! Uh-oh. Shield! I tried to shield him and then give him some speed. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, and now we might actually pay the ultimate price for it. However, we could also use our Eldruin's Might to escape, as can we our Smite. So, a couple of different options for not only initiating, but escaping as well. So that is really the power of Tyrael. Really one of the best initiators in the game at the current meta. Super strong. Just an amazing tank overall, especially once we get a talent at level 10, our heroic ability, which will really increase our initiating power substantially. So, yeah. It appears as if my team doesn't recognize that these are the most important skulls to get over here, because they do offer the most skulls, but that is okay. If your team doesn't, you know, they're not going there, sometimes you just got to go with the flow, even if it's not the best decision. And let's, looks like there is a couple of enemies in this mine, and there are, I believe, only a couple, 3 maybe, and we should have the advantage if we all stick together. However, my team not really doing a good job of sticking together, so that is unfortunate. Got to give our Gazlo a little bit of a speed boost. Going to, this is super dangerous, and we're in a pretty bad spot right now. So we're going to try to make an escape, maybe some sort of jukes. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but let's smite. Okay, so now this is our passive right here. That was very unfortunate, but we are just able to get a little chunk of damage on the enemy Kel'Thas, and maybe enough to, well, the problem here is we're all pretty much just initiating one by one, and meanwhile we're losing the skulls in the mines. Well, not losing the skulls, but we're losing in the mines, and Gazlo is still pushing at the same time, so they're getting the experience from the push, and we're still losing in a 5v4 because we all did split up. So that was very not beneficial for us. So now, to compensate for them getting these skulls, because they definitely are, we should be getting this camp right here. Now, we do have a Gazlo who is super good at getting camps, so this should be super quick. Now, they also do have a Gazlo on the other team. For the next time, we're going to be taking Amplified Healing, which increases all healing that we do by 30 yeah, 30%. I almost got the number wrong. I'm going to give our shield to our Gazlo constantly. His turret's going to be able to deal quite a lot of damage, and this AoE going to deal also a lot of damage to this Merc camp. So despite the fact that we weren't able to get as many skulls as I would have liked, we did get quite a large number, and this worked out pretty well. So we're going to get this camp right here to help defend. Now, one thing to note about this camp when the enemies do have a golem coming, you want to time it perfectly. Time it right. Time it so that it could sit behind the gate and, you know, be unaffected and actually, no. Ah! Well, basically the goal is to make it so that this siege camp stands over here, or sorry, stands behind the tower, so in this case over here, and is able to hit that golem uncontested without getting hit and really deal damage to it. Whereas they actually, you know, they called it in too early, and we were able to take out their siege camp, and it wasn't really able to assist with this golem. So we're just trying to do a little bit pushing, and unfortunately Gazlo warning me to not attempt that trick in quick match, which I understand it's hard to communicate, but it is super effective if done properly. So Zagari gonna get taken out. It looks like our Illidan wants to initiate, but there's way too many of them over there to make that a possibility. So I'm gonna just try to do everything I can to let him know. Fortunately, we're gonna get taken out, so a little bit. This tends to be a common occurrence with Illadins on your team. They just tend to be a little bit overzealous, and it's just something that I've come to understand by now. But anyway, for the next time, we're going to be taking Battle Momentum, which reduces cooldowns for our abilities. Very important as we do auto attack, or as we do our basic attack. So, look at how low that thing was. That keep. That was very low. But anyway, it looks like Illidan once again reinitiating, might be able to back him up, but might not be a necessity, and in which case we're going to back off. Now would be a pretty good time to fight, because we are even on the talents. Even though they have a 2-level advantage, they are about to hit level 10, which means at level 10, they will definitely get a huge power spike and be able to own us in a fight. But right now, we are very even and similar in terms of what talents we have access to as far as the tier. Not, you know, obviously we have different heroes, so we have different talents, but we do have the same tier of talents until they hit level 10. So for now, we're on an even playing field, and now they did just hit 10, so now we're going to back off. He's casting his heroic ability, and we don't have our heroic ability to counter. Now, unfortunately, this oh boy, that is exactly the problem right there. Gonna shield. Oh, get taken out. Wow, that was super uneventful and super unproductive for us. I should definitely not have reinitiated there. But it looks like Raynor getting a couple of interesting shots, almost a pick-off on that Gazlo as he was slowed and doesn't really have much of an escape. But it was perfectly fine. This game, Heroes of the Storm, something a lot of people don't understand is that the games are meant to allow you to possibly come back. And excuse me, my voice is a little bit scratchy right now from commentating all day, but yeah, so this game is meant to help you come back from a deficit, whereas it's definitely not as snowbally as other MOBAs. You know, I've played a ton of League of Legends. I've been playing since closed beta. I understand it's super important to get a good early game, you know, last hit a ton. There are compositions that don't do that and stuff, but in this game, it's almost always possible to come back. I don't want to say always, but almost always possible, and they are level 10 still. So we do want to be very careful. Now, they did burn a couple of their heroic abilities here, so I was hoping that would be enough of a deficit for them to, you know, not be able to win a team fight against us. However, they are still going to absolutely own us. Once again, we should not have reinitiated there, but at the same time, it's like, what are you going to do? You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Now, we also didn't have Gazlo fight with us, which was another big problem, but really, they were level 10 anyway, so we should have done is just get these Merc camps played a little bit safe until level 10, and we get a, you know, catch up a little bit and make it so that we are on more of an even playing field. Now, this game, like I said, we definitely have potential to come back. It's not like we're just punching bags right now. We're not getting absolutely wrecked. It does seem bad. It seems a lot worse than it really is. We're about to hit level 10, which means we will get our heroic abilities and then once again be on the same tier of talents as the enemies, and thus we will be on a pretty similar playing field. So for a heroic ability, we're going to take Judgment. Basically, it has a pretty big range, and you can right-click or not right-click, but you could actually use it on an enemy hero in range, and we need to defend this. We called in. See, this is what I'm talking about using the siege camp to early. By the way, we could also shield siege camps and mercs and stuff like that. Gonna back up with our... Okay, well... That is our heroic ability right there, and it allows us to dash to an enemy and stun them for a brief amount of time. Probably one of the best, if not the best, initiating talent in the game. And Raynor really, really wants to fight. So I am going... I don't know why Tyrael just picked me of all targets there, but that was actually not bad for us at all. But we're going to try our best to defend this golem as we are down a severe amount of skulls. And so we're just going to do our best to defend this. We're not going to be able to defend this keep or this tower, so it's okay. We're just going to try to do as much damage as humanly possible. Well, I guess these characters aren't really human, most of them. But as much damage as possible while retreating and kiting back to our base to remain relatively safe. Now, they did just hit level 13. So as I was saying before about the talents and the damage spike, they did just hit level 13, so this is another time when a damage spike is occurring. You know, they did just hit a different talent tier, and thus they are a little bit stronger than us right now. So it looks like we are going to catch this Gazlo out of position. He does have the Abathar hat on him, and which means that he is going to be a little bit buffed up and a little bit harder to take down due to his Abathar's defensive spells, but not that hard considering we did catch him out of position. He has barely any escapes, and he's Gazlo, so that's not... His team fighting isn't his strong suit. Now, he can team fight pretty well in some team compositions and on some maps, but generally he's not really that type of hero. Looks like my team is super... Oh, this is super dangerous. So I'm going to alert my team to back up, as they should be doing. Raynor bot, what are you doing, my friend? Raynor bot, get over here. Well, that is the enemy Tyrael absolutely stomping on us with heroic ability. Okay, we have an opportunity to potentially take out that... take out their backline, but we really don't have much to follow it up with. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant to initiate. Plus, I'm low on mana, don't really have enough mana to use a judgment, which potentially could have secured us a single kill, but the risk would have been far too great. See, the thing is about being a tank in quick match is that it's hard to judge when people are going to follow your initiation and when they're not. And a lot of times people... Like, when you expect them to follow your initiation, they don't. And when you don't expect them to, you know, initiate, that is when they do it, when you're the tank. And it's just super weird. That's why tanking in quick match, it's weird, and you really need to have a sense. You need to be good at kind of sensing what people are going to do. But in quick match, oftentimes it can be so unpredictable, so ridiculous. But anyway, next time we're going to be taking Burning Rage. We are a mostly tank build, but this is going to allow us to do a little bit of extra damage to surrounding targets, and thus we should be meeting up with our team right now. So I'm going to actually head up top to kind of meet up with my team. I'm going to actually ping to be careful, because this Tyrael could potentially do a lot of harm to our team here. So I'm going to just... this is dangerous over here, boys. Okay, well, we're going to actually judgment this Kel'Thas, try to keep our backline, our Raynor safe, which is... I mean, ideally, we can use our judgment on their backline and then, you know, have our DPS follow up with that, with DPS to burst them down. But sometimes, occasionally, you need to use it more of a... Abby! Occasionally, you need to use your judgment more to peel than anything. So it looks like Abby might be able to escape, as the towers are actually doing quite a lot of damage to me, and they might have their heroes coming out of this mine here, so I need to be super careful about that. He could actually judgment me right now, almost from that range. Yeah, so level 16, yet another tier, another talent upgrade, and another damage spike. So this is just going super, this is super difficult. We're always just, you know, that little bit behind that is making it that much more difficult for us to come back. Now, like I said, it's not like League where it's like, oh, now it's impossible to come back. It's just a lot harder to come back than if we would have, you know, kept up in skulls and such. So, yeah. We are going to follow this Tyrael, try to push him back. There's only one mercenary here, so I don't know what's up with that. But we're going to sit on this merc camp, like I said, about us being so great about sitting on objectives. And Illidan, what are you doing, buddy? You got to get out of there. Well, it looks like Gazlo pushing super hard, so I'm going to alert my team that I'm coming to initiate, but it looks like they do not want to follow up. So I noticed something good to do if you do plan on playing a tank that is heavy, super aggressive and heavy on initiation, such as Tyrael. It's good to absolutely spam the ping like, it's kind of annoying if you are on the team, but it's literally sometimes the only way to get your team's attention. One ping to a person is often just, completely ignored. And I don't know if this ever happens to you, but sometimes if I see one ping, I just completely brush it off, which you shouldn't. You definitely shouldn't, but your mind doesn't register it as much as if it was like, they were just spamming ping. You know what I'm saying? By the way, ping is just, you could alt-click or press G and then click, and it just sends a little alert like this on the map. And yeah, so, great maw actually from them. So, oh my goodness, the Illidan gets taken out even with Metamorphosis. So we're going to be forced to retreat and going to use my smite just to allow my teammates to retreat if they wish. And that was extremely unfortunate, as that could have potentially went in our favor had Illidan initiated at the proper time. That was a great maw coming out from our buddy. So we're going to spam ping on Kalthas right now. Let's get a nice little... Oh, maybe Jaina? Okay, well, we're going to head in on Gazlo, because he was charging that up. I wanted to cancel that. Weren't going to be able to, but we're taking a lot of damage. I really wanted to go back in there, because they are pretty low, but as is our team, and our Zagara doesn't have mana, so we really don't have much to follow it up with, unfortunately. Now, you see I do have the most healing on my team. Quite interesting, considering I'm not a healer, but... yeah, that is a lot from the Regeneration Master, and that plus the Amplified Healing really makes it so that we can sustain just that much more. Now, I'm suspecting they're going to be here as they did, or they might actually consider taking this. Now, we need to be careful because they do have vision of this, so they know we're doing this. And also, these people have to be careful as well because they could potentially know that we're there and in turn, want to try to contest that as they should. Now, we just hit level 16 and they're about to hit level 20. So this is a really good time to fight. Obviously not ideal to fight. You want to have an advantage. By the way, we're taking Blood for Blood, which is an active skill, reduces enemies' movement speed and health, a portion of their max health, and we actually get it instead. So pretty good talent. One of the best you could possibly take in almost every situation. Now, it's not, 100%, but in a general rule of thumb is that it's super, super good. Uh-oh. We have no one to follow that up with. I realized that a little bit after. Honestly, I thought that I had more teammates following through. And it looks like Illidan is not in the mines right now, so we are just going to be forced to retreat. The problem with this game thus far is that, not Heroes of the Storm, but this match in particular, is that we've always had a couple of people not following through, not following in the mines, and it's really making it difficult for us to win any sort of team fight or skirmish because everyone is kind of doing their own thing. So just something to keep in mind, no matter... Guys, this isn't League of Legends, all right? Split pushing in League is, a really good strategy at times. And in this game, it can be a good strategy depending on certain circumstances, the map, your team composition, and such. But it wasn't the right play there. And it's costing us a lot of skulls. And this is going to make it so that their golem is absolutely ridiculously strong and difficult for us to come back. So, like I said before, this game isn't as snowbally as League of Legends. Still a little bit snowbally, I guess, if they do get a tier of talent up on you, which right now they have their level 20 heroic, which is a huge step up compared to level 16 tier of talent. So they're going to be able to absolutely wreck us in a team fight right now, and they're going to pretty much force a team fight, most likely, as they do have this huge golem, which is absolutely, it's definitely going to take down this keep. There's most likely nothing we could do about it. So yeah, we were really just having a difficult time right now. We're going to try our best to take it down. We're actually dealing quite a significant amount of damage to this. I'm actually surprised at how fast we are burning this down. A lot thanks to Gazlo, because he is super, super good at taking down siege or doing siege damage in general. It looks like our Illidan gonna get taken out. I am not even sure how that happened. And here is the initiation that I talk about. They're looking for a fight even though it's only two of them. So you see, it's not only like one team that does this. A lot of times both teams split up almost incorrectly, in my opinion. And I think they are kind of uncoordinated in that sense, but that's just what happens when you don't go in with a full team. If you go in solo, sometimes it's just something you need to expect. Now, I could dive their backline right now, but like I said, if you don't have anyone to follow up, it's tricky and really no point. But we are going to get taken out. Unfortunately, going to try to deal as much damage as possible before we do. And it looks like they are going to take down the core. Good game, good game. Now, my tanking could definitely use some work. Tanking isn't my primary, role, but oh well. And it is what it is, guys. It's a learning experience, all a learning experience, including for me. But I hope this is still a pretty good build, despite how difficult this game looked and how badly this match went. Definitely is a pretty solid, strong build. I recommend you try it out for yourself. Now, Tyrael is a lot better with more organized teams because you can, alert them, and a lot of times they will follow through if you do initiate with Judgment or your Eldoran's Might or just anything you initiate. A lot of times they will follow through, more likely if you are teaming with them. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy it. Still can be a pretty viable build, and if you did, please leave a like rating. Check out my other Heroes of the Storm videos. With that said, thanks for watching. Peace.